Alright, so this is the technical part. So this is the APM 2.0 board for the ArduPilot, and this is the GPS. If you get a better version like a 2.5, the GPS will come attached, not separate. But for this one, it's separate. If you want to do self-navigation or self-flight with the UAV, you need the GPS to find the coordinates of latitude and longitude. And now, if you look at the board itself, this is the front. Inputs on the bottom and outputs are on the top. Now, connecting the UAV, the wires and stuff, you're working with the outputs from right to left. The channels run from right to left. So it would correspondingly go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Channel 1 works with the ailerons. Channel 2 works with the elevators. Channel 3 works with the throttle. And channel 4 works with the rudder. Now, for channel 1, if you have 2 channels, then you can get a link to put it into one. If not, then you can connect it to channel 5. But if you do connect to channel 5, you have to go to your systems and inverse the code. Now for the code, the inputs you would use if you have RC equipment. But for the inputs, instead of right to left, it runs from left to right. So channels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you would connect the remote control correspondingly with the wires given. Now for the coding, it's with the Arduino. First you need to, as it says, you should look up this website through Google. It helps you through all the things. But first of all, you would have to create a sketchbook. A book that, somewhere where you can have all your codes in. Just like as they show you here. Somewhere where you can have all your files in and all your coding. Then once you have the initial code, you need to go open up your Arduino program. Open up your Arduino program, and once you open it up, you need to connect your board. This board, and if you go to your device manager, it should show you the port that it goes into. Now, once you open it, you can a lot of these programs are going to open. And what you start to do is you put in the configuration code, the starting code. Now, as you can see, it's pretty long, and I'll just run through like some simple things. So, for example, if you are using this code, you have to understand, the main part you should understand is it's near the bottom, where you're talking about the altitude or the airspeed, the throttle. For example, right here, you have to set the power, or the how strong it's going to be. So as you can see, we set it it's set to 0 and 75, which is the range. Also with the pitch and all that. Now these are all these are like self-setting. And then now through this code, you have to tweak it a bit according to your Arduino or your plane. Obviously, it's not going to run perfectly, and if not, you're going to tweak it, raise it up or raise it down, but don't tweak it in too much because there will be drastic changes. The default is 0.5, so from there you roll up or roll down. Now, there are a lot more codes, obviously, but for the most part, this code will have your plane fly and stabilize itself. If not, there's some minor things you can tweak. Now, there's another way you can do this, and it is through the APM Missions board. It's the mission planning. Through Mission Planner, APM Mission Planner. Now, through this, you're going to set points and rallies and waypoints of places you want your plane to fly. Now, like I said, you need a GPS for this program. Through this program, if you would want to, if the plane doesn't fly straight, you need to go to configurations. At the top of the menu, you'll see configurations. The third from the left, and tweak the controls according to your board and how it flies. For example, the ailerons or the thruster, depending on how it moves, how cleanly it flies. I mean, that's where you would make the changes. You'd have to connect your board to here. Like, for example, this right here is the connector to your computer. You have a port of some sort that should connect here, and a USB port to connect to your computer to link it. Now, through this, you're going to set your waypoints, and missions. Now, for pre-flight, you have to make sure, before every pre-flight, you got to go to your flight data, connect your board, and you need to set the modes to stabilization. Stable and auto. Stable on the top, and then set your waypoints to home, and then the third one, you should set it to auto. Now, what that does is before the flight, it stabilizes. So if you were to move the Arduino board, then you would see your UVA fly correspondingly. And we will show you that in the second video. Now, once you've done that, you would want to, you set your mission, then you play your mission and go to flight data, and then you have to arm the board. Once you arm the board, then you can disconnect it, take it off, fully connect everything, connect the batteries, and then wait a second, wait a bit, and then the board will hold it up a bit, and then the board will go. Now, there's also 5 settings that you should set it to. RTL, stabilize, then auto. Now, RTL stands for return to launch. So, in which case, that's your mission plan. It's going to come back to your point. And those are the 2. And then after that, it's the stabilize. Because if something goes wrong, the board's going to stabilize itself. Then the third part is auto, and that's through your manual, and it's through your remote control, which you would have connected to your input. And I would highly recommend you do that if you want to keep your board and your plane. And that pretty much sums up the use of this board, this program Mission Planner, or through Arduino.